Hello, today we will understand cloud computing, model service security, infrastructure security, Paas security, and SaaS security models. So we'll start with the infrastructure security model. So there are many components that we need to secure in Iaas security model, like all the underlying infrastructure that Iaas service provider provides, CSPs provide, that the main components are hypervisor security, VM security, virtual switch security, virtual storage security. All these four major components of underlying infrastructure that CSPs, IaaS providers or CSPs like Amazon and Azure is providing to their customers. So we need to make sure that hypervisor, VMs, switch, network, storage, everything is secure from these major attacks. So let's start with the hypervisor security attacks. We need to we need to make sure that hypervisor should be secure from hyperjacking, blue pill, vitriol, and DKSM. Hyperjacking means installing a rogue hypervisor that can take complete control over the server, such as subware. Subware is an example of hyperjacking. Blue pill. Blue pill is nothing but a hypervisor rootkit using AMD secure virtual machine. This is also one type of hypervisor attack. And another is vitriol, that is hypervisor rootkit using Intel VTX, and another one is DKSM, direct kernel structure manipulation. So that manipulates the kernel level of hypervisor, that increases the attack surface of the hypervisor. So we need to make sure that malicious hackers should not uh, should not impact hypervisor as a whole, because malicious hackers consider hypervisor as a potential target to attack because hypervisor enables control over the installed VMs, physical systems, and hosted applications. So malicious users is having high confidence and high attack surface vector on hypervisor. So hypervisor security is a very important part of infrastructure security. And VM security. Next is VM security. VM security is virtual machine security. There are many virtual machine attacks nowadays is happening in the cloud environment, where cloud servers contains tens of VMs, hundreds of VMs. These VMs may be active or offline, but both are vulnerable to attacks, because if offline VMs is having outdated patches, outdated antivirus, so it is more vulnerable to attacks. And virtual machine based rootkits, VMBRs, these are a VMBRs. VMBRs is the rootkits act by inserting a malicious hypervisor on the fly or modifying the installed hypervisor to gain control over the host workload. Okay, so this VMBR is also a major attack rootkit. And then is a collocation, where multiple VMs are running on a single server and sharing the same resources, increase the attack surface and the risk of VM to VM attack or VM to hypervisor attack. When you say VM to VM attack, is a VM hopping. This terminology called as a VM hopping. Okay, and next is VM escape. This is VM escape. VM escape is another common attack on the VMs, which is done by crashing the guest operating system, to get out of it and running an arbitrary code on the host OS. This allows malicious VMs to take complete control of the host operating systems. So this we need to make sure that virtual machine security is enough to secure the infrastructure security model. Next, move on to virtual security, virtual switch security. So here we have a major component like routers, switches, where virtual switch is vulnerable to wide range of layer 2 attacks like um, modification and manipulation of ARP tables, VLANs, trust, trust zones, and virtual switch configurations. So DOS attack is also happening on the external interface of virtual switch, virtual router, and other network devices. So, and next is virtual storage security, where we have data stored in a virtual environment. Unauthorized access will impact the data, and we need to make sure that encryption is enabled on the virtual storage to maintain the security in the virtual storage environment. So this is all about infrastructure as a security. Security is needed on this in this model to to protect all these important